So let's look at section 7.1, angle relationships in triangles. So there are some things you have to remember, and an interior angle is inside the triangle. So if you add up all the angles in the triangle, and there are 3 of them, they all add to 180 degrees. So if I take this angle A plus B plus C, it should equal 180. So those are the angles inside the triangle. Exterior is outside the triangle. So let's suppose I have this triangle here that I'm going to outline in pink. Okay. If I extend these lines of my triangle, then I have these angles right here, which is outside the triangle right here. If I add up these, A, B, and C, it's going to equal 360 degrees. So all the interior angles add to 180 and the exterior add to 360. Okay? And there's a few others that we're going to go through, and one is called remote interior angles. So these are 2 interior angles. If I add these 2 interior angles together, it's going to equal this exterior angle right here, okay? And we call it remote because it's not beside, okay? So this angle A plus this angle B equals this exterior angle here, which is C, okay? Let's look at isosceles triangles. So one thing that you have to understand with isosceles triangles, you have 2 equal side lengths, okay? And these 2 angles here, A and B, they equal each other, okay? Given these relationships with angles and triangles, let's look at some examples. Okay, so let's look at these 3 first. So here you're asked to find the angle measure indicated by the letter. So I'm looking for angle A here. Now this is an example of remote interior angles. If I add 55 degrees with 61 degrees, that is going to give me angle A. So when I add them together, I get 116 degrees for A, okay? So what I did here was the remote interior. So these 2 added gives me this. Okay, let's look at B. Is this remote interior angles, these 2? The answer is yes. So this here gives me a symbol. This symbol is 90 degrees. So if I take 25 degrees plus 90 degrees, I get X, which is 115 degrees. Okay. Now let's look at what we're doing here. This is C. Now these angles here, the 132, the 90, these are exterior angles. They're outside the triangle. So what should they add to? They should add to 360 degrees. So to find angle C, I'm going to take 360 degrees, I'm going to subtract 132, I'm going to subtract 90, and that's going to give me C. So when I do that, I get 138 degrees. Okay, these are exterior angles. Okay, let's look at a couple of others. Now these ones here, I look at this triangle here, and because of this line, these lines, I know it's a isosceles triangle. Okay, so one thing I know is this is 30 degrees. So let's think about how I could find each of these angles here. Okay, so remember an isosceles triangle, the 2 sides are the same and these 2 angles are the same. So let's figure out what one of those angles are. So if I take 180, take away this 30, I get 150 degrees, and that is for both of these angles. Remember, they're the same. So if they're the same, then take 150 degrees and divide it by 2. So each of them are 75 degrees. So if this is 75 degrees, then this is 75 degrees, and now we need to find X. There's more than one way to do it. We could do the remote interior, take the 30 and the 75, and that will give me this X. Or you could also say, hey, wait a minute, isn't this also supplementary angles? Right? You could also take 180, take away 75 to get 105 degrees, and that is what x equals. So there is more than one way to do it. So once again, you could have also done the remote interior. Okay, let's look at E. Once again, I look at what I have and I notice that I have a triangle once again. Okay, I see these lines which tell me that they're the same side length. So that tells me it's an isosceles triangle, so I know these two angles will be the same. I notice I have this angle here at 125. So these are supplementary angles. So if I take 180, subtract 125 degrees, I am going to get angle X, which is 55 degrees. So I know X is 55 degrees. Well, if X is 55 degrees, if it's an isosceles, I know Y is also 55 degrees. These are the same. Okay, now let's find Z. What do we know all the angles inside a triangle add to? Well, they all add to 180 degrees. Okay, so to find Z, I'm going to take 180. I'm going to subtract 55 to get 70 degrees. Okay, and then I have all three of them. Okay, now let's look at the final one. Okay, so again, we have some algebra here. We're going to figure out what the angles are. Okay, so I've got three of them. Interior, so what do the interior angles of a triangle add to? They add to 180 degrees. So I'm going to set up my equation. So 3x plus 28 plus 5x plus 52 plus 2x minus 10 equals 180 degrees. Now this is an equation, so I'm going to keep all my x's here. Anything without an x, I'm going to move over, and I'm going to remember to change the sign. Okay, so I have 3x plus 5x plus 2x equals 180. Take away 28, take away 52, plus that 10. So this is 10x. So 180 minus 28 minus 52 plus 10 is 110. Now divide by the number in front of x, so I know each x is 11. Now I have to find each angle by substituting 11 into each of these angles. So this one here, 3x plus 28, 3 times 11 plus 28, so 33 plus 28 is 61 degrees. Then repeat it here, 5x plus 52, 5 times 11 plus 52, so 55 plus 52 equals 107 degrees. And then we're going to repeat it right here, 2 times 11 minus 10, so 22 minus 10, which is 11 degrees. Okay, once again, remember nothing is drawn to scale. We do everything algebraically, and that's it.